Hello guys and welcome to the FilmBox. Today's video is going to be short and sweet, and that's because we're going to be going over the Sigma BF, which I believe is probably one of the most controversial cameras this year, considering Sigma did something completely different and made a camera we haven't seen before. Now, quick disclaimer. This camera was lent to me for about a week for me to try. The Sigma rep didn't say I have to make anything about it. He just wanted me to try out the camera because we share a mutual love for Sigma products. So but I thought to myself, why shouldn't I make a video about it, considering I'm probably one of the first ones to get to use it. So I just want to put my opinion about it and see if this is a camera that you guys would like, if this is a camera for you or if it's not for you. So Sigma went out of their way to make this the most minimalistic looking camera you can possibly get. And I think that's where a lot of hate's coming from it, because it doesn't have dials such as like the ISO dials or the shutter speed and things like that. And I've had people say that the camera looks cheap, that it looks uncomfortable to hold and things like that. And I can totally understand those concerns by looking at just photos of the camera online until you actually get to hold one. Like once you hold one, it doesn't feel cheap at all. And I'm not saying that just because of the $2,000 price range, which is one thing, $2,000 for the body alone, but because it feels like you're holding a brick of aluminum. Like that's literally what it is. From what I read, Sigma, it takes them about 7 hours to carve the body out from a aluminum block, and then they can only produce about 9 cameras a day. So there's definitely attention to detail to this, and it's something you won't appreciate till you hold it. So the first time I held it, one thing that came to my mind was like, man, this camera's heavy. And it is, because it's a very, very solid build, and I love it. Like the last time I ever felt this good holding a camera honestly would be when I had my Leica M6. So as you can see on the back of the camera, there's really not much to work with. There's not many buttons, and I'll go over each of the buttons real quick of what it does. So you have your on and off button that you use to turn on the camera and turn it off. And you have your playback button where you can scroll with the little wheel and just go back and forth and see all the images you've taken with it. Whenever you touch the playback button, if you just tap on it, it will show you the last photo you took. Another really good thing that this thing has is this little screen here in the front. The little screen is great because it can show you like options at glance that you can change, such as your aspect ratio. So you have different aspect ratios you can choose from, which is really cool. And then you just keep scrolling left and right, and then you'll take you to other things, So you have your ISO, your shutter speed, and then you also have your picture profiles on this. The third little button right here that has the 3 dots, you just press that, and then it's gonna just show you like extra information that you want to change out, such as the screen brightness if you wanted to make a little noise whenever you take a photo, such as the shutter, because this doesn't have like a shutter, mechanical shutter, it's electronic shutter, so you will have issues such as flickering on certain lights. It has an internal memory of 230 gigs, and honestly that's plenty. Does have on the side a USB-C port, and that's it. And that's so you can hook up the camera to your iPad, you can hook it up to your phone, you can hook it up to your laptop to get access to the photos of the internal memory. So it's there. It doesn't have an app where you can just download it like similar to like Fuji, where you can just retrieve the photos from there. But honestly, if you have a cable with you, it's much faster. You just hook it up and then just look through the files and see what you want to download to your device. The camera is full frame with 24 megapixels, and then you can interchange the lenses. Sigma did a really good job with the lenses as well, especially on the silver body. They made their contemporary lens line with this beautiful silver color. So you can have a lens that will match the camera. Really nice image quality. It does produce really nice JPEGs as well. Now, the really cool part about this camera that they added was picture profiles to it. My favorite one was the sunset red. It just added really nice color to the shadows, like tones and things like that. So if you're someone that appreciates what Fujifilm does with their film simulations, this has something similar. They're not as customizable as the Fuji versions, but you can customize something such as contrast and things like that on the picture profiles. So what Sigma does with this camera is just really trying to make it as simple as possible to use for any user. You don't have to be a professional to use this camera. I don't think this camera is meant for professional people. You know, it lacks, the hot shoe, the articulating screen on the back. It lacks dials on the top, so you don't got none of that right there. So um, it's not for professional, for like workhorse kind of use. To me, this camera was used mainly just to have fun. It becomes a camera so simple to use that you want to use it every day. I just want to go over some things that I personally think I didn't like. I do respect the design of the camera, but there's just some things that I think could be done different, maybe in the next generation of version of this, to help as far as taking photos. So one of the main things, my biggest complaint would be the there is no articulating screen. So first of all, there is no EVF or whatever. So the first day I had the camera, I was used to just trying to do this, but you can't do anything with it because it's just a screen on the back. You know, there is no viewfinder to look through. So you have to, rely mainly on the screen on the front, which is fine. You know, I got used to it in about a day or so. But gets a little difficult whenever you want to shoot at certain angles. Like if you want to shoot one like below like this, you do have to like, crouch down to see the screen to see what you're taking photos of. So it would have been cool if you have like a little screen that you can just, flip up to take photos from the waist level. So in conclusion, I really enjoyed using this camera and I'm really happy with what Sigma did as far as the design, because I think that's the driving factor that you're gonna see with this camera, and it's of, you know, the beauty of it. And that's something you don't see often with the other manufacturers. A lot of them try to go through the retro look, which still looks beautiful in my opinion, but no one has ever tried this more futuristic, more minimalist look. So, and the biggest achievement I think Sigma did with this camera overall would be the menu system. I think it's incredible, and more companies should do something like this, because just being able to flip everything, back and forth with just one dial is great. Like honestly, you don't have to go through a lot of menu lists and things like that, similar to like Sony's, which I know a lot of people complain about. And Fujifilm's is also not the best. But just like I said, just being able to just scroll and have everything on that little screen, showing you the display as far as your picture profile, for example, that's really all you may need at that time, or just like my exposure compensation, and everything else stays in auto. It just makes it so easy. I could literally hand this over to my wife who doesn't do photography, and I'm sure she can get a great photo with it. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope I've given you some insight about this camera to see if it's something that's worth your $2,000. And if you have any questions about the camera that I didn't bring up in this video, just please leave it in the comments. I'll do my best to answer it. If not, I'll reach out to the Sigma rep to see if he can give me an answer. And thank you so much for watching. And if you like this video, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Be as serious as other people, you can still pick this up and get some beautiful images.